Hey there, fellow Soul Smarties. This is a little bit different, a little bit of a different video. We're trying something new. This is a tarot reading on the question, what are you not willing to see right now about your situation, about whatever's happening in your life? Likely, if you clicked on this and are watching it, then something in your life is just not going how you want it to go. So you might be feeling like things are going wrong. You might be feeling like there are obstacles in your way or like nothing is shifting. And you might feel like you can see certain things unfolding or certain reasons for why things are happening in a particular way, but like you're missing something. Like there's a piece that you're just not able to notice, that you're just not able to articulate or identify. So if that's you, if this is how you're feeling, and if you have clicked on this, then this reading is for you. And we will identify some things that you are not willing to see about yourself and your situation right now. And hopefully, actually seeing these things will help you to move forward on whatever it is that you're going through, that you're moving through. Now, the idea is that if you clicked on this and you're watching it, then the guidance is meant for you. So this is how my one-to-many, my group readings tend to work. I would advise you to be really, really greedy with the guidance. Take whatever resonates. I always say, don't necessarily just ignore what doesn't resonate. Maybe ask yourself why it doesn't resonate, because sometimes there's a bit of resistance especially in a question like this, where we're exploring what are you not willing to see. So there will be some kind of resistance to something. So, yeah, I wanted to do the reading on this particular question because it also applies to me. So I've had a lot of things go wrong in my life as well recently, and I was not willing to see the lessons and the gifts, and I was just not willing to open up to it being something in the end potentially positive or leading to something positive. So I got a little bit stuck there. So I thought this question would be really great to play with. It actually comes from my guided oracle and tarot journal. You can get this on Amazon. I will leave the link in the description box below. It's a journal with loads of different questions. On each page, there's a question and space to write down what card you pulled and what you thought. And yeah, anyway, get that on Amazon if you want. If you would like a more individual reading on any of the themes that you identify by watching this, or on anything else, then I will leave a link to my readings as well. And you will hear me mention my spirit team, Avalon. So I co-create everything with my spirit team, who call themselves the Avalon Collective, or Avalon for short. Our work together is about empowering you, the individual, bringing magic and power back to the individual. So if you resonate with that message, then stick around and hit subscribe, and let's be soul smart together. Yeah, let's go on to the reading now. I will show you the cards I pulled. I will provide you with some journal prompts. If you want to journal as you're watching, then just hit pause on the video and use the journal prompts provided. And I think that's it. Please let me know how it resonates in the comments. Enjoy. Okay, so here we go. We have asked our question. We have pulled our cards. As you can see, I am using this beautiful Chrysalis Tarot. I hope you can see that. It is by Tony Brooks and Holly Sierra. It is an absolutely gorgeous deck. One of the first ones I bought actually many years ago. I don't know, maybe I hope it's still in print in case you want to check it out. Yeah, and I have pulled 4 cards in answer to our question. Really, these 3 are the answer to our question. So the guidance, the main bits of the guidance. And then I felt like I wanted to pull an extra card, like a summary at the end. So I'm going to flip these over one by one now, and let's see what Avalon have to share with us. Ace of Stones is our first card. So the Ace of Stones is the Ace of Pentacles in a traditional deck. As I always say when I teach people to read cards, or I support a lot of people through their own intuitive journey, so we talk about this a lot. When you ask a question and then you pull a card, the most important bit, and I think the bit that a lot of people forget really, is to make sure that you're relating the card to the original question. So the Ace of Stones isn't now
like guidance in a vacuum. It is something that is an answer to a specific question that we asked. So we asked, what are you not willing to see right now about your specific situation? So this is one of your answers. One of the answers is that you are not willing to see that your situation is a beginning, is the beginning of something new. So the Ace of Stones or the Ace of Pentacles is like the seed of an abundance of physical resources, for example, like money and health. So especially if you're watching this video and you're experiencing any health or money issues, you like maybe they just got you down, maybe you're really thinking about what's ending or what's not working or what you've been unable to get off the ground, maybe even, and now have to reassess. Something has come to an end, essentially, that's what happens. That's how we feel when we experience issues. And when we end up asking this question, this frustrated question, what am I not willing to see right now about my situation? So yeah, if you're watching this video and you are experiencing some health or money stuff, for example, see if you can see what you're experiencing, not as an ending, but as a beginning. So, this is a clear sign that what we're not seeing is that this is a beginning. Whatever's happening right now is a beginning of sorts. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Maybe it's an idea that's coming to you right now, or a seed of an idea, or a seed of a different direction in your life, or the seed of a relationship or a hobby or anything is okay here. And I know myself how hard it is to feel like everything is ending or everything is toppling around you, and to try and see a new beginning, the thread, the seed of a new beginning in that. So I'm experiencing both money and health issues right now, so it's a double whammy. And I just know how hard it is to go beyond thinking about how much that sucks, and opening up to the possibility of it being the beginning of something new. So if you're there as well, remember that all you need to do is stay open to the possibility. You do not need to know what this new path is going to look like. You do not need to necessarily even know like what the seed is when you really, really can't see whatever's happening as a good thing or, the beginning of something different or something new, something better. Then just focus on staying open to the possibility of it being different. You don't need to have all the answers or know any of the details. You just need to tell yourself that you're open to the possibility of something good coming from whatever you're experiencing. And the only way to do that really is to declare it, to say, I am open to this being the beginning of something new, and trying to almost like look for small clues, for the breadcrumbs of what if it is? What if this is the start of something new? So yes, that's the message of this card. And by the way, I absolutely love the megalith on this card. It is a statement, right? Like it is a decision to take up space, to be here, to claim your place. It is strong and it is ancient and it is immovable. It feels like it heralds a new chapter that's stable and sustainable and long lasting. I really, really like it for myself as well. And I hope that it resonates with you or brings you some comfort in whatever is happening to you right now as well. So if you want to take some time to journal on this particular piece, then here are some journal prompts for you. What is this card saying to you? Whether you know anything about tarot or not, what is this card saying to you? How could whatever's going on for you right now be a beginning? What would it look like to be open to it being a beginning? What kinds of beginnings are you seeing in your life? What new ideas or perspectives or opportunities are coming in? And lastly, where would you like this to be a new beginning? Sometimes it's really nice to like fast forward yourself into the future in your mind and try and look back on this time in your life from the perspective of future you. So you don't know like exactly where you're going to be, but if you look back on this time in your life, how do you want to remember it? And I always try to remind myself that I don't want to remember it as like the worst thing that's ever happened, or, or a useless waste of my time or anything like that. Obviously, I always want to remember this current moment as, if it's a difficult moment, as a key of some sort, as the start of a transition, as that moment that changed everything, where I learned whatever I needed to learn to take things wherever I want to take them. So that's also a nice journaling exercise for you. If you want to do your journaling now, then feel free to pause the video. Now, let's see what the second message is. So our second message is the World card, or Psyche in this particular deck. So the World card is the last card in what we call the Major Arcana part of the tarot deck. So the Major Arcana cards are about big transformation, spiritual lessons, those big milestone moments that really define the rest of your life or the next chapter. And this is the last one of those. So, although we were just told to look at whatever's happening around us as a beginning, even though it might feel like an ending, this card tells us or shows us that it is also an ending, right? And that, of course, makes sense because a beginning always includes an ending as well. Like they go together, one thing ends and another begins. So let's relate it to the question that we asked, which is, what are you not willing to see right now? Or what are we collectively not willing to see right now? So we are not willing to see what this is an ending of, that whatever's happening is actually closing off a chapter as well. And this isn't any old ending of any old chapter. This is the World card, which symbolizes the end of a really significant, spiritually significant growth cycle. So the end of such a cycle isn't abrupt. The end of such a cycle is more of a process. It's not like, you've had this growth cycle and then suddenly one day it's over. It's more of a process of integrating all the growth that has happened, all the lessons that you've learned, all the transformation that you have gone through. And in my experience, it's often experienced as some kind of pause. So usually an unwanted pause, for me anyway, because I don't like pausing. I know I always want to just keep going. So to me, it always feels like a kind of forced or unwanted pause. But it does manifest in my experience often as some kind of pause. So if you're experiencing a world kind of ending right now, you might be feeling stalled or even stuck. You might have had something happen that's keeping you from the world or from doing the things that you want to do, or like maybe you're just stuck in a feeling like whatever you want to do isn't working, and so you're not sticking to it. Like I personally am actually being kept from the world because I have fractured my foot. So like I am literally stuck in place. Whatever that is for you, it may well have similar themes. Then the message here is that it may feel frustrating, but it's a necessary pause for processing. Your energy system needs to catch up as essentially with whatever lessons you've been learning and whatever transformation you've been going through. Your energy system needs to catch up. And so however you're experiencing this ending feeling or this ending energy, all it's doing is making space for your energy system to catch up. But I think it's really important to understand, to remind yourself that this is a big moment for you. It is a threshold into deep transformation. It is a big moment. It's not just a bad day. It's not just, something that you should be sucking up and just pushing forward. In this deck, the World card is called Psyche, and in Greek, Psyche means either soul or butterfly, apparently, which I think is really lovely. And the soul is ever evolving, and the butterfly is, of course, a symbol of transformation as well. So be willing to see what you're experiencing as the end of a growth cycle and that threshold into the next phase, a real blossoming, a real becoming, and understand that it's a big deal. So also be kind to yourself through it. It's not a small thing. Whatever growth cycle is ending for you, it's a really significant moment in your life, and you should treat it as such. Now, If you want some journaling prompts on this idea, here they come. So, firstly, what is this card saying to you? What is this message saying to you right now? If what you're experiencing is the end of a growth cycle, what has that cycle been about? Can you guess when it would have started? Like, if you accept that this is a growth cycle, then can you make any educated guesses about what that means? What have you learned during whatever you consider to be the latest growth cycle? How have you grown? Think back 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, more, whatever, whatever is coming up for you. How are you different now? And lastly, who are you becoming next? Who would you like to become? Right. And what about our third message? Our third message is the High Priestess or Sorceress. One of my favorite cards in any deck. And look at this one. This is in the Chrysalis Tarot. It's so beautiful, isn't it? The art is just so gorgeous. A lot of people really love getting this card. So you might be one of them as well. And again, let's relate this to the question that we asked, which was, what are you not willing to see right now? So, what you're not willing to see right now is your intuition, is your intuitive power, symbolized by the High Priestess. This is a really beautiful and powerful message. The High Priestess is an aspect of each of us. And in this particular instance, you're not willing to see this aspect of yourself. So maybe you're not taking the time to connect in with your intuition. Maybe you feel like you're disconnected. One of the ways in which this can be showing up for you is that you might be focusing on all the things that you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how this is going to play out. You don't know what to do next. You don't understand. You don't know what's happening. And perhaps you're not spending an equal amount of time focusing on the things that you do know. Like we tend to say the words I don't know a lot. And I read something once that really stuck with me that I don't know statement is the most limiting belief of them all. That just really always stayed with me. It really resonated with me because we do say it a lot. And maybe you can challenge yourself to start noticing where you're saying to yourself, I don't know what to do, or I don't know what's happening, or I don't know what my purpose is, or what my path is, or I don't know if I'm on the right path. And there may be things that are unknown to you. Like that's part of the High Priestess as well. She is a card of mystery and all the things that are hidden. And so there will, of course, be things that are unknown to you. You can't know everything. You can't know exactly how it's going to play out. But there will definitely also be things that you do know. Okay. I have worked with hundreds of people on following intuition at this point, and one of the things I repeat a lot is start with what you do know. There will always be something. Start there. Don't worry about all the other things that you don't know. Start with what you do know. Now, if you want to journal on this particular card, then just ask yourself, how am I honoring my intuition right now? What is my intuition telling me? And what do I know? What do I know? Instead of focusing on all the things you don't know, what do you know? And lastly, our summary message, which is the Four of Spirals, which in this deck is what the wands are called, the suit of wands. So again, if we are using this as an extra message, an overarching message, a summary message, let's relate it to our original question, which was, what are you not willing to see right now? And this card, actually, it's a really interesting depiction of this energy because in most decks, it is depicted as a celebration, as a party, as like a moment of reprieve during a difficult situation. So it's not like a party and then everything is fine. I've recently actually read the description of it as it's the wedding party and not the marriage, right? So it is that moment in time that we take time out to celebrate something, but it doesn't mean that the rest of our path won't require some effort. And that's what this card is telling us. It's telling us to allow the break, to allow that moment outside of time. Now, in this particular deck, that moment outside of time isn't a party, isn't a celebration. It feels more like a cottage of solitude, maybe a hermit moment of introspection. But the idea is the same, is to allow that time outside of time to to just take a break from whatever is happening. And you may want to use this for a gratitude practice or just for something nice for yourself, an afternoon reading your book or like whatever it is that floats your boat. Like, I'm not going to give you suggestions here because those will be different for everybody. But the overarching message is to take that time away from whatever is happening or even like away from trying to figure out what's happening, just take some time out. Time out. Now, one last thing before we finish, I just always like to look at the full story of the cards as well. So I like to read them individually, and then I like to look at the full story as well. So if we take our original question of what are we not willing to see right now, this path is quite beautiful. So we're not willing to see that this is the beginning of a journey that will help us to become that butterfly, to really blossom and become that butterfly and grow into our inner wisdom, our inner power in a much stronger way. Perhaps this is the next layer of our inner power if you already feel like you're pretty connected. It doesn't matter which layer it is. It's interesting actually that this suit is called spirals because it's really the spiral path that we're on, and it's not like we work through something and it never comes up again. We tend to be confronted with the next layer of it, really. This path that you're on right now, this moment that you're in right now, is the beginning of an unfolding that will result in you tapping into more of your inner power, more of your intuitive knowing. And that's a really great thing. So I feel like the guidance is really positive, even though your situation might feel pretty rough at the moment. I hope that this has been useful to you. Please let me know in the comments, and I will see you in another video. Bye bye.